Yeah, better when you have me. Yeah, you got better when you mad me, admit it.
Welcome to NWA Connie Corso's podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Why you nonchalant when you really got them digits? I'm obsessed. I'm like, yes, ain't no stress. You the best. I'm obsessed. I'm like, yes, ain't no stress. You the best. Look, how you get so good at being modest, girl, be honest. You said you done trusting these niggas, made yourself a promise. I hate to make you take it back. I've been getting paid for rap, ain't talking about the drums. When I tell you I can make it clap, had to make you wait for that. You intrigued with conversation, you be moving dolo, I'm intrigued and I'm in admiration. I can gas you up, but I don't think you need the validation. Still you looking good, natural, without no operation. My old bitch tell you, your old too. Younger me, he wanted street stripes, but they wasn't blue. Now I'm
Yo, we in the house. We in the house.
Giving you the credit you deserve, cause it's overdue.
What's up, chat? Let's get it. Let's get it. What's up, coach? Hey, welcome back to another episode of NWA Connie Corso, where we talk all things dog. So, hey y'all, we got a good show tonight. I've been really excited to talk to this young man here. His name is Coach, Formula One K9s. What's up, brother?
And God is good, like I say, first and foremost, man. But I ain't doing too bad myself, man. Blessings to you, Joe.
Thank you. I receive them. Yes, sir. And likewise. Yeah. So, man, it's an honor to have you on the show. We're gonna get specific on some things you do, because you got a very unique program.
Yes, sir.
A very unique program. And I was listening to you build over there the other night. And you're also a teacher. And
yes,
you make it make sense. So shout out to the chat. Shout out Nephew, Catch Dog Concept, Dickie Foster, DK9. Y'all gonna come in here. Let's have a good time. Brother, where you from?
Well, I'm from Maryland. That's where I'm from. But I reside in California, Northern California. That's where I reside at right now.
Okay, cool. When did you find out or notice your first love for dogs?
Oh man, when I was 8 years old, I would say I was a military brat, and I was in Hawaii at the time when I was 8, and I had a friend of mine whose dad was into pit bulls, and that was the first time I ever interacted with a pit bull, seen a pit bull, and then I was infatuated with the pit bull at 8 years old, and I had a dream. And that dream entailed of me creating my own dogs. Mm-hmm. So from that point on, I always had a desire for bull breeds, boxers, pit bulls, Rottweilers, dogs like that.
Gotcha. Okay. You named some of your favorite breeds and things like that. Let me start off with this question. What is a Bandog?
Well, technically, a dog that is tethered, that is used for guarding, protecting, whether it be family or I would say even property or livestock even. But more, I'm saying kind of like what Lee Robinson expressed, as far as it being tethered up, but still used as a guardian dog.
Gotcha. But, when most of us who probably novices what a Bandog is, we just think it's what would you say, just a mix of dogs, right? The
Correct.
Common people. Okay.
Correct. Like I'm asked, I always tell people who want the simplified version, it's a Mastiff bull breed cross.
Gotcha.
Foundation based, of course. Whatever you add to it is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
but I always a cross Mastiff breed that's used for protection.
So you always had this vision of the Bandog and mixing dogs. When did you start your first breedings and exploring with this concept?
I never had a vision in the beginning, Joe. I didn't even know what a Bandog was at that time. My passion for breeding started with the pit bull. You know, that's when my passion for breeding started. However, when I was 8, I had a vision and a dream that I created my own dogs. You know what I'm saying? You know, imagine your imagination at 8 years old. So that's where I was at 8. However, when I started actually getting into breeding, it was the pit bull is where I started. So I didn't find out about band dogs until 2017, 2018, when I reached out to an actual band dog breeder and they educated me on what a band dog was. So I didn't even know what a band dog was until 2017, 2018.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you so what once you found out what it entailed, what drew you even closer into getting into creating it?
So to make a long story short, I had a vision of making a performance American bully at one time. Also started out my breeding journey with pit bulls, my own line of pit bulls back in 05. So when I was introduced to the concept of what a band dog was through this breeder that I was originally buying what I thought was a bulldog from, right? My followers know this, Buffalo back in the early thousands when I found out about them. But when I reached out to the breeder, I was, you know, expressing interest in certain, you know, certain types of dogs that she had or they had. And she was telling me about, this is this type of dog and this is a band dog. And of course I was like, what is a band dog? Never heard of it until she presented it to me. Once I learned about what a band dog was from her, I still didn't know what I was going to do. Because what I ended up doing, Joe, to be real, and for the chat who don't know me, at that time of my life, I was on I called it a dog DNA buying spree. And I had the means to be able to purchase whatever dog I wanted for my program. I moved to my property up here in the hills, man, back in 2016. And that was the whole purpose for me moving out here in the country, was for me to do dogs. So I had the property to do dogs. I had the money to do the dogs. So, you know, I was spending money on top tier genetics. That's what I was doing. So when I reached out to that particular breeder who educated me on what a band dog was, I was a fan of a dog that I saw on YouTube that I thought was a bulldog. Then get me on the dogs that they had, a variant of a bulldog, some band dogs, etc. I was, like I said, at that point I was buying DNA. So I was like, let me know what your foundation genetics, if y'all got straws. That's where I learned about straws too. I mean, she put me on, or they put me on a lot of game. I would say it was she, Jackie, which was the wife. She handled all the interactions with all the customers. Her husband did all the breeding. So she dealt with all of us, and the husbands just cooked them up. That's how they dynamic was, right? So her and I built a great rapport, but I came at her just real, was like, hey, I'm on this dog DNA buying spree. I'm buying the top because I want to cook up my own dogs. I told her that. So then she said, well, look, I got this dog straws, that dog, this type, that type. And so I just, you know, I spent, you know, I bought all day foundation. So that's how I got my first foundation band dog DNA, which was a Neapolitan Mastiff, German Boxer, American Bulldog cross.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I had those genetics, but I didn't know what to do with it at the time. I just was, you know, I just had the means to do it. And I wanted to have as much genetics as possible to cook up what I envisioned when I was 8 years old. But I didn't know it was going to be a band dog. You know what I mean? I have multiple different type of dogs that I breed, by the way, but I didn't even know that I was going to breed a band dog if it wasn't for her put me up on game. Like, hey, I got this dog. This is our foundation. We built all our bulldogs off of this, and we built our band dogs off of this. You know? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So she kind of gave you some tips along the way On.
Gave me up, Joe. Like I didn't know nothing. I was naive to band dogs. I was naive to all that. And based off of my, us communicating, and she was, she was understanding where I was coming from, and I was asking her like, I need some foundation. I need y'all foundation because I'm trying to build. You know what I mean? I want the finished product because I ended up buying 2 of the finished products, but I asked them for the foundation. And at that time, her husband didn't want to give up his foundation recipe. He was holding on, even though he was retired. They retired. They was already out the game.
Yeah.
It was just I would just say, I always say it was a blessing from God for me to even be able to reach out on the email on some random, Joe.
Yeah.
You can see if I can, because I had the means. Let me email this. I was a fan since 2005. This is 2017.
Yeah.
Them, and they out of business. They ain't selling no puppies. And then 2 weeks later, I get a response email wise from Jackie. Her name is Jackie. And then that's where I hit her up, and they had 2 dogs available off there. They call them Rocky Mountain Bulldogs. And that was that was their latest version, but they was just doing that in-house, but they had a whole bunch of males. So just my timing just worked so perfect where they weren't selling to the public, they weren't offering it, but I just reached out to like, shit, we got all these males. And they were in a financial situation. You know what I mean? They situation financially, it wasn't favorable. Mm-hmm. So having my money right and was really trying to spend work to my benefit and help them out. So I was able to, I tell my followers, I was able to finesse them with my money to get they didn't want to give it to me. He was holding on like that's that's my, and then the wife was like, she was like, Coach, I'm gonna talk to my husband. Don't worry about it. We ain't breeding no more dogs. We done.
Right.
But that's how I was able to get those, those genetic pieces that started me on my journey as far as the Bandog is concerned. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So, everything has a purpose. And what is your purpose for your dogs? And if you don't mind, tell them what was the purpose for the people you started with dogs.
Well, I've always been into performance dogs. Mm-hmm. And being that I bought my property, I built it in a way to where, I wanted to create a place to where I can train my dogs, condition my dogs, work my dogs. So based off of that vision of me wanting to have a working dog and have a facility to be able to condition and work my dogs is just where it was like, okay, I need to have the best genetics to be able to build the phenotype and the genotype of my dogs. I need to have the best genetics, whether my high performance bully program, or it was my pit bull program, or my bulldog program, or my Bandog program. I needed to have the right genetic pieces to be able to do that. So with how I set up my program, and then also how I have my property set up, it aligned with my vision as a whole to be able to be at a level of high performance working dogs that I want to be, which is hence my name, or my kennel name, Formula One K9s. I want to create top tier working dogs. You know what I mean? So, hopefully I answered your question. I don't know
you did. But you got high performance bully dogs and high performance pit bull dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And is these the key ingredients to your ultimate Bandog?
No.
Okay.
I have so I consider my program like how a car brand has their different variances of their different models of cars.
Okay.
So everything is on a level of high performance. So I always give the example of like Corvette, and they have their different models, the base model Corvette, the LS, whatever they have, and then they have the ZR1. You see what I'm saying? The ZO. Yeah. So I have every dog that I create is on a ZR1 level, even though there's different versions of the dogs, if that makes sense. Like you said, the pit bull, if there was a pit bull, then it's going to be a ZR1 version of the pit bull. If it's a Bandog, a ZR, you know, so everything is on the highest of the highest level performance, whether it be, you know, right now I have 3 variants of a Bandog, and they're bred differently, even though they have similar genetic character, like similar genetics, like relation, but some of them have, you know, like for example, I have what I call an AK-74 Bandog, which is my boy AK-47 Chopper. He's my double XL pit bull that I have. I know that twists a lot of individuals, you know, nipples who never experienced one in their life, but you know, yeah. And I know dogs, so you know, you can't tell me nothing what I see in my life when it comes to these dogs. So I have a version of a Bandog that is him. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you've seen my boy AK-47 Chopper, right?
Or is that the black one?
No, that's the buckskin one.
Oh, the buckskin one. Yeah. I seen him. Yeah.
He amazing, real deal. He the truth.
Yeah.
I create a Bandog version of him. You know, something that's going to not only be good with prey, but be good on man as well. Right. So that foundation of that buff dog blood, that Neapolitan Mastiff, German Boxer, American Bulldog, right? Mm-hmm. That foundation, and then I took that and I bred it into one of my pit bulls that I created. My girl, Holy Spirit, she's a pit bull. Nice. And took that offspring, right, with one of the females, and I bred it to AK. And then I created what I call a AK-74 Bandog. So now everything that's in AK now has the man fighter, the man stoppers and the bull. I mean, all that's in it. The guardian traits is in that particular dog. So right. That's the Bandog I created. And then I created a bulldog version of a Bandog. I called it an AR-15 Bandog. So I took a full-blooded American Bulldog, and then I bred that one to my foundation Bandog blood, which is a Neapolitan Mastiff, German Boxer, American Bulldog game pit bull cross to that full-blooded American Bulldog. I call those AR-15 Bandogs.
Gotcha.
Okay, so and then I have one that I just created. You know, I mean, my young boys, I call them my giraffes. They, you know, they're young. I ain't really introduced them to the world yet because they still young, but they my giraffe, big old Mastiff types. But I call them my Formula One Bandogs. Okay, which right. Throwing eventually, I'm gonna be throwing my high performance bullies into them boys, because them boys are just, to me, they're too big. You know what I mean? I like a dog that is well rounded. I don't really want a super big dog, especially when it comes to performance. You know what I mean? I need to have that dog to be well, I need to have it complete. So I already have a vision for them, but I have 3 different types of Bandogs, if that makes sense.
It makes a bunch of sense. Somebody, they're asking me to show these dogs. Yeah, they're asking me to show these dogs.
My Instagram, man. I mean,
yeah. Go to his Instagram, Formula One K9s.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And let's answer this right quick. Was it a Scott or Johnson ABD?
Now which one is okay? So I'm gonna say this. When I bought my American Bulldogs, I was new to the American Bulldog community. I know the difference between a Johnson and a Scott, but I wasn't looking for my American Bulldogs based off of is it a Johnson type or a Scots type. I was looking for a phenotype and a genotype, because, like I said, me is what I do as a dog man. I create dogs. I respect every dog man and every bloodline, but I don't buy dogs off of type, blood. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I buy dogs off of, first of all, the breeder. Very important. Because then I'm asking the breeder all the questions. Like me and you talking, I'm gonna talk to the breeder that way. But right. I'm looking at the dog at the same time too. If that dog has a look that I want, a phenotype, I'm excited. Then if the dog has a genotype or a performance ability that I want, then I'm even more excited. Mm-hmm. Now, confirm that with my breeder, then I don't care what type it is. So to answer your question, honestly, I don't even know. I just know that the breeders that I bought my dogs from, I needed to be a performer. I needed to have a certain type of look. And at the time when I first was buying my dogs, I was looking for the bully type. Okay. Which the dog man that I bought it from, he was telling me, like, man, he was like, Coach, man, them bully type dogs is pieces of shit. What you want, them dogs blow up on you based off his experience. This is a 75-year-old man telling me this.
Yeah.
And because I wanted the phenotype and I'm over there cooking and I'm like creating, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fix that. I'm about to cook up different bulldogs and fix that. You know what I'm saying? Even though at the end of the day, he was telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Performance dogs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I never even asked if they Johnson type or bully type, because I didn't buy from breeders that was breeding them type of dogs. Like they was classifying their dogs as that. I bought from breeders who was breeding a certain type of phenotype that they wanted. So they dogs was they dogs, if that makes sense, right? They wasn't saying, oh, this is a Johnson type American Bulldog. You know what I'm saying? This is whatever his kennel name is. This is my Bulldog. I created this. I got 6-7 generations off of this. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So let me ask you this: what hybrid vigor is that your strength with these dogs at the core of a big dog?
Oh yeah, I tell my boys and my followers that our best friend in the lab is hybrid vigor. Hybrid vigor is our best friend because my focus is performance.
Yeah,
that's Formula One. You know, like I feel like I'm at a very high level when it comes to performance dogs.
right.
You know, like an engineer. So in order for me to make a dog better than its mom or dad or great grandmom or grandfather, hyper vigor has to be there.
Right.
If you know what that looks like when you have a dog, then you get it, right? You know, you see it. You might have a great dog, but then, you know, you in the lab experiment, because that's what we do as breeders. We experiment.
That's right. Yeah.
I always tell people at the end of the day, like, we're just assisting God. We're not God when it comes to these dogs now. I have an educated understanding of a dog, but I'm not the genetic makeup creator of the dogs, right? Man, God is the creator of all things. So based off of my understanding, I can have an educated guess based off of what I wanted this dog. But until I produce it, it is what it is, right? It's like, whatever. Okay, these two didn't work out, or these two worked out, or, you know, this male turned out to be better than his father. This female better than her. Why is that? Well, then you understand hybrid vigor. You understand why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when it's performance, though.
Right. Well, when it comes to performance, I know with Schoolboy, you know, he'll be on the channel a lot, and he would talk about all these great race horses, all these great performance dogs were not just locked in pure, you know what I mean, are bred tightly. And that's how they was able to get a lot of extreme. But your dogs look nuts, man. They look like all of them are, you can tell like these dogs are athletes, boy. You know what I'm saying?
And there's a couple of reasons why that they are that. I mean, first and foremost will be genetics. So you got people who are good at training dogs, good at breeding dogs, right? Good at conditioning dogs, etc. My gift is making dogs. That's my first gift. But my other gift is conditioning dogs. And so being that I live on this damn mountain, okay, and I got like a weight pool track, I built a full facility for my dogs to have them looking like that.
Right.
And I know how to feed my dogs too, the right amount of food, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that their physique is at top peak. So because I condition my dogs and I live on a hill, that's how I'm able to keep them dogs looking like top tier athletes. They running up a mountain all day. They
road work.
Yeah, they getting it in.
Yeah.
So with me and my presentation of my dogs, because I live in an area where I can really maximize my workout, my conditioning regimens with my dogs. Plus genetics plays a big part in that too.
Right. Right. Is there any like research or scientific studies that help you on the way, or is it mostly just putting your hands on it and word of mouth through the mentor you had?
I would say all of the above. I'm definitely a student of the game of dogs, so I like to, you know, watch podcasts, read dog books. Um, However, because of my gift to be able to do what I do, a lot of the things that I've experienced, especially with hybrid vigor, for example, is hands-on. Like I tell my boys, and you know, they know who they are. But we talk dogs, and I tell them how important it is if you out there cooking in the lab with your ideas, how important it is to keep every dog in your litter. Because I did that by default, just because I had a situation where I had an old male, had a female that was my last of my blood. I'm like, you know what? This guy's like 10 years old. This bitch is like 11 years old. I'm gonna breed him because I didn't, I only got like maybe, man, I think I got like one dog, and that dog died. I sold off everybody else. So I was like, I'm gonna breed him one more time. But God blessed me with like 7 dogs, 7 puppies. I kept every one of them. Now, based off of that, I bred every one of them too. Now there's a lot of variance in that litter as far as like size, temperament, drive, etc. Off of that variance, I took one dog, which happens to be AK, and I bred AK to all 3 littermate sisters, who are all 3 different dogs. And one of the littermate sisters, my girl Tiny, I would have gave her away. That's how I felt about her when she was a puppy. She was a runt. I would have gave her away.
Yeah.
But what that showed me by me doing that is that bitch done produced me some of the best fucking dogs I got. See my language. The best dog I have on my yard. That bitch that I would have threw away.
It's fun. It's funny, man. Sometimes I got a male. He ain't like, you kind of look at him, you like, man, he ain't perfect. But when he get to producing, his offspring is always better than him.
Right.
Yeah, it's I guess it's Mother Nature.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But see, if you just listen to people tell you things, a lot of people do, and you like, okay, well, if this dog don't make the cut as a puppy, then they ain't worth breeding. Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
You can have a dog that makes your cut when the dog is looking the way you want it, performing the way you want it, but it's not a producer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to test things.
Right?
Yeah.
So especially with your F1s and your F2s, like you're in the lab building foundational pieces, you got to keep all of them or have them in a place where you can breed each one, because you never know which one of those dogs will produce your best dogs. You don't know until you do it.
You don't know. You don't know until that customer say, "Hey, I just want to give you an update," and they show you the dog. Like, damn.
Yeah. Show you the ugliest dog that you had produce the best dogs that you ever seen. Out of that, that's the one that blows your mind. Like that. Produce that, and that's real. I understand this too. If you got top tier genetics in your dogs, male or female, even though I always give this analogy, it's like you got brothers and sisters, right? Let's say one of your brothers is, he always got picked on. He's a short one. You the stud of the family, right? You got, he grows up, you grow up, you have your kids, he has his kids. And then, you love your kids and all that, but then you see your nephew off your fucking bum, excuse my language, off your brother who was, always picked on, but your nephew is the stud. Off your brother who wasn't.
True. Yeah.
So when you understand it like that as a breeder, if the genetics is there, then you just gotta, you have to understand that I gotta cook with everything.
Right. Is there any cases that you've seen, and I'm not trying to talk for you, but I almost kind
Go
of
ahead.
was leading you. But hybrid vigor, is there points where you do see consistency in the breeding somewhere? Is it more of one parent? Is it passed down through, uh each dog? You know what I mean? Is it harder to get consistency with hybrid vigor?
Well, I would say this. Me personally, I like genetic variants.
Hmm.
I care about performance.
Hmm.
I don't care about look. Me personally, I don't want every one of my dogs, Joe, to look the same. I
Yeah.
don't, because I'm such a dog DNA connoisseur. I respect, especially if I'm doing what I'm doing best, which is knowing how to pick out the right genetics. I'm respecting all the genetics in that dog,
Right.
good, bad, or indifferent, because it all.
That's funny you say that, coach, because like your dogs look damn good. I'm looking at the black. Was that a black XL bully? Uh,
Uh,
the
which
the
what's the name? Is it AR-15? I don't know if it's AR-15. That's my band dog. If it's black,
he was moving. I'm
okay,
like,
yeah,
damn.
yeah, that's my band dog. I created. That's my band dog. I created.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So you said you don't care how it looks. I'm looking at that dog like,
But see, that's Joe. Check this out. I have a gift, man.
yeah,
When you see my dogs, they on that level because I have a vision, not just freestyling when I make my dogs. You see what I'm saying? Like I spend a lot of money on my program, a lot.
right.
So like,
Hold on 1 second, chat, and everybody. I got to plug in my computer. Getting a low battery. Sorry. 1 second.
hey, salute to the chat. I can't see what y'all saying in the chat, but thank you guys for showing up. You know what I mean? All my brothers, you already know, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for y'all support for sure, man. But salute to the chat. Definitely salute to the chat. Hopefully you guys join this conversation, this dog talk conversation that Joe and I are having. And I hope I inspire you guys, dog men and dog women as well, to just, just do. I tell my brothers and my peoples, man, we pioneers of this dog shit. Excuse my language. So continue to pioneer as well. Don't be afraid to be pioneers and experiment with your ideas. But I always tell my brothers, man, make sure it's educated though. Don't be over there freestyling, putting together trash, because you're gonna get trash if you freestyling. You know what I mean? Make sure you're in the lab making it make sense. Draw it up, make it make sense before you cook up some BS, because you will get BS. That's a fact. So yeah, big salute to y'all. Oh, Joe got some technical difficulties. Oh man, it's live with the coach. You know what I mean? It's live with the coach. So yeah, I mean, man, doing this dog thing, being a dog man, if that's what y'all aspire to be.
There we go. Sorry, boy. That sucker died on me, man.
Oh. I was trying to improv for you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah. So okay, yeah, you was talking to him. I said, yeah, what's up, everybody? Blah, 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 blah. Man, that Kangal is crazy. What Kangal y'all talking about, big bro?
They talking about my Kangal, bitch from Serbia. Her name is Snow White. Hey, Joe, I'm that man. I'm on a different come to these dogs. Like I'm on a different level when it comes to these dogs, man. Like I got stuff dog man dream about in my lab.
This is the big question. How many dogs you got?
I'm just gonna say 30 plus. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
You got enough to cook like crazy.
And I got top tier dogs, Joe. I mean, top tier dogs, man. Top tier. I got a Kangal, top tier. I got a Malinois. I got top tier dogs, Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
that's okay. So that ties into, like, you talk about the look, and how I mentioned I don't really care about the look, but I buy dogs that look good, Joe.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Cause I'm looking at the dogs. I'm like, you sure you don't care how
I
yeah.
care. It's not the front, but at the same time, if you make sure that you have dogs that have the look that you want, be in your blend can be something similar. That's where you win at. For me,
that's right. Yeah.
I tell you, like with hybrid vigor, kind of what you was talking about with hybrid vigor, I don't care about what the dog looks like, because I know I'm going to get a variant of what I cooked up. So whether it looks like this ancestor or that ancestor or the mom or whoever, I'm happy with everything that's in that line. Me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter to me, because I got top tier. I don't got no trash dogs. And even if that dog was trash, like we were talking about, you can have a dog that looked like whatever. Oh, that dog don't fit my look, phenotype. But the DNA in that dog is like the dog that I love. The dog that does visually appease me, they're related.
Right.
So,
A lot of people don't understand buying a dog for DNA. I did that this year. I bought a dog for DNA. What's behind them? Yeah.
that's important for us who are making dogs. Yes, we want to judge a book by its cover, but when it comes to just dogs or genetics in general, you have to think broader than that. It has to be your spectrum of understanding of the DNA has to be bigger than what you see.
Right.
Unless you don't know what's behind the dog, then you just kind of uneducated. You're just like, well, okay, I can only go by what I see. But if you know at least 3 generations back, you got an educated guess. Even though that dog is an ugly duckling out of the genetic pool. Your grandma, great grandpas, whatever, was all top tier dogs.
Right. So before we got on, I asked you, I said, well, brother, what do you do every day? I was asking you a personal question. But you a full-time dog man.
Full-time dog man.
Wow.
Dog man.
Yeah. So how has his journey been as far as being full-time with it?
Hard.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's harder for me than I would say most dog men who would do it full-time is because I'm a pioneer dog man. I create dogs. Like, I have my own pit bulls. I created. Then I have a version of a pit bull that I created called the XL Pit Bull Draco. Then I got another.
I saw.
Yeah. Then I got another version that I'm about to create, which is going to be the double XL Pit Bull AK-47 choppers. So everything that I do in the dog game is my own lane. It's my lane. So to get people to catch on to it, it takes longer. And I want a fair premium price for what I do, because I've spent 6 figures plus on my program. So you're not just getting no regular dog from me. You're getting a Formula 1 level dog, but you can't go and shop me nowhere else either. So now, me building my clientele is a lot harder, if that makes sense.
Right.
So the journey has not been an easy one, because, a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion, a lot of convincing, a lot of standing on my brand and my product. And because I invested so much over the years, like I was telling you in the lobby, I'm still in the red, even though I've sold hundreds of dogs. I got dogs all over the world, all over the United States. But I'm still in the red because what I built, I didn't spare no money on the DNA. I have multiple dogs. I take care of dogs. I got a property. I got everything. I got a top tier facility. I got all the best shit. But at the same time, my vision of my program is way more advanced than the dog game itself today, if that makes sense.
It makes a bunch of sense. And the investment into the facilities is man, I paid $12,000 for this, one of them sheds, like a 10 by 32. My wife, yeah, I'm gonna whelp it. I want you to put a heating there out here, and we're gonna fix it up. But we do all that, right? So I'm over 12 in.
Oof.
I want them closer to me. Just do it at the garage. So I had to go put mini splits in the garage, all this old stuff, and convert the garage. And I'm like, oh my God.
Don't
But
stop.
yeah,
Go
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah. And then
month in dog, Joe.
about the what?
I spent $3,000 a month on dog food.
Yeah, so you buying a pallet every month.
Yeah.
Damn.
I spent somebody's mortgage. And it's a nice house too.
Yeah.
$3,000 a month.
Is it? Yeah, it's expensive, man. Yeah.
That's
Damn.
not that, go along with taking care of dogs.
Right, right. Do you have help anytime in your kennel?
No, one-man band. It's just me.
Yeah, because you said you stay on the mountain. So it is you. Yeah.
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 A lot of work.
Yeah. Well, brother, I tell you what, you do got a lot of followers though on Instagram. I'm like, golly.
And that's I call it the two-edged sword, right? Because both ways. So when you're a pioneer like I am, and my foundation is sales though, Joe, like I grew up in my professional career as a salesman, whether I was selling cars, selling real estate, sales. So I understood presentation, I understood marketing, etc. So based off of me understanding that, I was able to accumulate a substantial amount of followers and a substantial amount of haters.
Oh yeah.
I call them haters, spectators, and naysayers, you know what I'm saying? But they really low-key fans. They really fans because they don't have the ambition that I have. They don't have the vision and the foresight that I have. I'm gonna stand on it. But at the same time, it's like, look what I got. You ain't got what I got. If you got what I got and it's better, then I gotta salute you. I gotta respect you.
Right.
But the dogs that I got, you didn't spend the money I spent. You know what I'm saying? Like if you did, I'm gonna salute you. You gonna game what they say, game recognized game. When you understand, like you mentioned about your whelping area, you spent that $12,000. We can relate. But somebody from the sidelines, or not even the stands, looking at what we did, commenting on it, but bro, you couldn't even qualify to spend this type of money on your dog. What you talking about?
Right, right. And it's a funny thing, like when you when you playing with this social media game, like one thing that happens to me all the time, being that I'm since I have so many guests and whatnot, they're gonna see you on this show and they're gonna instantly become an enemy to me. Some of your enemies, it be all like, oh man, come on, where you have hit motherfucker on the show for?
Yeah,
it'd be crazy, but like you say, they not even on the sidelines, they in the stands, just yapping.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Fans, that's what they fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whole bunch of fans, just looking at what they wish they could do. Wish they had enough influence in the dog game to be a pioneer.
Yeah. But the ambition, the main thing you said was ambition. They just can't do it. And because a lot of times when it comes to stuff like that, they don't understand. I can't be coach.
Right.
You just don't know. I can't be coach. I could be me. Some people gonna like it, some people not gonna like it, but I can't be coach.
Correct.
Me trying to be coach, I'm gonna fail every time. But just because I can't be coach, why I gotta hate on coach?
Right,
right. Makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Tell people, if you put in that work, if you will put in that work, you can be me, because ain't nothing new under the sun, Joe. Ain't nothing new. I didn't invent what I am today. I got ancestors. I got people who did this before me. I got plenty of examples of how to be a top tier dog, man. Plenty of it. The fact of the matter is, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to sacrifice the time, the effort? Are you willing? Are you willing to have the long suffering of the process? You willing to have? Probably not, right? You're gonna showcase your dogs in the right way to where people are gonna hate because they really be jocking, on salute because you really have your dogs on that level, you know, you got to be willing to do that. If you're not willing to do that, it is what it is. So check this out. I get, well, I don't get this a lot, but from some of the naysayers, right? They expect me to show my dogs working in a certain type of capacity, right?
Yeah.
Now I breed dogs with maximum prey or maximum man drive or both maximum prey and man drive. I know my dogs can do some damage. I have a lot of dogs that have high prey. I've dealt with a lot of yard situations and maintaining, you know, yard. I done stapled up dogs and had take the dogs to the vet. I done seen what my dogs can do to each other. Now, I've never allowed them to bite a human being because I don't want to deal with the liability. I don't allow my dogs to bite me, even though I got the full bite suit. I got all the shit, full bite suit, all of it. But that's just brand new in my damn shed because I was like, you know, I'm not letting my dogs bite me. There's no way. I'm not, just me personally. I'm not gonna allow.
Right.
But all the time, it's like when you know the psyche and the ability of your dogs, it's like when you have, like I said, a ZR1 Corvette in your garage and you know how it's built because you built it. I don't have to test it on, let's say, a person to know that when it bites you, it's gonna crack your arm in half.
Yeah.
See that dog, for example, like my boy AK, and I see him take bones, I don't care what size bone it is, and just crush them with his mouth with ease. Imagine what he's gonna do to you if he put his mouth on your arm and your flesh. Yeah. I don't need to bite a sleeve to show me this bite pressure. Or I got dogs with maximum prey drive and I see how they are with each other and it gets on my nerves. I have to manage it. And then they get in a situation and you see the damage they do on each other. Like, I ain't gotta prove to you that my dogs can work. I don't gotta prove my dogs can bite. I know they can bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day. I'm hands-on. I'm managing them dogs every day. I live on a mountain in the woods. I got all kind of mountain lions, bobcats, foxes. I mean, I can go on and on about bears.
Mm-hmm.
They get all that type of sensations where I live.
Yeah.
And
you can't really show that. You know what I'm saying?
I never show that. Joe, check. I had a little scenario where I had two dogs next to each other, right? Mm-hmm. And they were in a, and it was just, and it was just real brief. I called it musical kennels. I was moving them around, but it was like less than like a minute. And then they was in between the kennel bars biting at each other, right? And within that minute, it was like a bloody massacre, just them nipping at each other between the kennel bars, right? And then, man, oh my God, I can't believe you let them dogs do that. Oh my God, why did Bro, this is what these damn dogs do.
Yeah.
This is the drive that I put in these dogs. These two dogs are so competitive, they was trying to get each other through the kennel bars. They know each other. They grew up with each other, but the competitive nature of what they are, what I put in them, that drive, a minute beside each other, shoot, they can't hurt each other, the kennel bars, but they sure showed out for the camera. So it's like, for what I do with my dogs, it's not something that you want to, I can't show you that. I can't show you that because then I will, get ridiculed and all that stuff. But if you have the ability to see what I produce with what you're going to do with the dog, let's say if you're going to hog hunt or whatever, then, you get to experience it yourself. I experience what my dogs can do every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Back to the food. And you working these dogs out.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of feed are you doing? And what is your feeding regimen? Are you once a day guy, twice a day guy? What?
Once a day. So I used to free feed my dogs earlier on. So I used to have like one, those big stainless steel dog bowls, and I used to fill it up and just feed my dogs that way. And then what I noticed over time is that my dogs, had a lot of weight. They weren't overweight, but they had they didn't have that tuck that I grown to love now with my dogs, right? Mm-hmm. Shiny coats, healthy, etc. But they were holding the weight that I didn't like. To people who like dogs that hold weight, they would think, oh, but your dogs look good, coach. But for me, being an athlete myself, and I want my dogs to be cut, I didn't like that. And so what I used to do also, I used to take ground beef, raw egg, throw it in there, you know what I mean? So they get their protein, plus keep that coat shiny with that raw egg, mixing up in their kibble. That's how I used to do that too. Over time, as I kind of like learned how I want my body types to be, then it's like, okay, I started, you know, following the what it says on the bag as far as how many scoops, cups you're supposed to put, right? So then I saw, okay, I saw my dogs getting slimmer, but because understanding how I operate with my dogs and how I work on my dogs, even though they were slendering down, they were still bulking up with the muscle. Their weight was coming with muscle. It was just so then over time, I started to figure out how many cups I need to give each dog to get the right amount of weight.
The sweet spot. Yeah.
So that's when I started learning. So I feed them 1 time a day. I fast my dogs 2. Okay. I fast my dogs once a week. At one time when I was experimenting with the fast, I used to feed my dogs every other day. And I had my dogs was looking amazing feeding them that way. Every other day. Okay. Now I feed them every day and I fast them 1 time a week or whatever. So experiment on each dog is different, obviously. Dogs burn more fat than others. So I would just experiment on the dogs, and based off of how I want them to look is how I would feed them and how much I would feed them. But it's only 1 time a day. Yeah. Is how my dogs. But I strictly do kibble because I have so many dogs, it's easier for me to feed them that way. And, you know, with the, I already understand the protein amount that they need. You know, I like the chicken and rice formula. I don't like a super high protein. I like my protein to be at about 26, you know, somewhere around there. But I've been able to have dogs that look like them freaking super athletes by feeding them that way.
Boy, they do. They do. Let me ask you this. Being a dog man and messing with athletic dogs, what are your thoughts when you hear when people say, well, I like to fatten my dogs up for the wintertime? What's your thought process on that?
So I would agree with that. So I always say I say this because it's real to me in my eyes dealing with my dogs. I don't like the wintertime when it comes to dogs because, and this is the reason why, being that my dogs live outside and it gets cold. One thing about dogs, anybody who has animals who live outside, you know, keep themselves warm. Now I already have very high active dogs. One thing about dogs, just any animal, let's say dogs, we're talking about dogs. If you feed your dogs too much, they'll eat it, but they're just going to shit it out. So they have piles of shit because in reality, it's too much food for your dogs. You know, at least my dogs, because my dogs are very active. You know what I'm saying? So then you feed them and feed them and feed them, and it's too much food, and then they shit it out. So they might maintain a little bit of weight, but not too much. But I do understand why people do, because they're going to lose weight. My dogs lose weight every winter, whether a whole bunch or not. And then the reason why for me and my dogs is because I have a very active yard.
Right.
Very competitive. My dogs aren't just laying around in their little area all day. Right? And then they can, you know, whatever. They ain't burning no fat, nothing. You know, no, my dogs, when I come out, it is freaking competition time. They jumping, running, they going ham for the whole time I'm out. So they just burn through. You know what I mean? Like any athlete, they're gonna burn through the food.
Right.
If I feed my dogs too much, then I low-key waste dog food. And I don't ever maintain the type of weight that I want to keep on them in the wintertime because my dogs are just too active. They're going to burn through that shit like it ain't nothing. However, to answer your question, people who do, I understand why, because they want to maintain the weight. And dogs lose weight in the winter because outside they're going to be shivering at night. So they're burning fat. That's why they always lean in the wintertime. In the summertime, A1.
Right.
Winter, feed them more, always feed them more, but they in there, you know, they got all that stuff. But I mean, all that is burning calories. You know what I mean? So I agree with it. I agree with it. I would say do that. But I mean, you know, if you're like me who want to keep a certain type of physique on your dogs all year round, man, you be burning through dog food, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Since you once was trying to figure out the way into getting into band dogs, do you have people coming up under you now that are seeking to do the same thing and getting that knowledge from you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I got dog men who respect what I do, who have a similar vision of creating their own dog, and they like performance dogs, and they've seen what I've been able to create. And, you know, based off of what I've been able to create, they, you know, are inspired about creating their own. Like, hey, you know, if Coach can do it, he's created some amazing dogs. You know, I've sold my dogs for top money too. So for me to be able to create my own dog, sell my dogs for a good amount of money, have dogs all over the US and all over the world, you know, it inspires people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It inspires people to be able to do it themselves. So based off of that, yeah, I got a lot of my fellow dog men and dog women inspired when it comes to, you know, creating their own dogs.
Right. Can you see this screen, Coach?
Yeah, I can see it. Uh-huh.
I'm showing some of your dogs.
Oh man, you know, shit here, man, you know, top tier at this thing, man. Man, I'm one of the best when it comes to these dogs, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? This ain't even just a, you know, like, you know, just downplay any other dog, man. I got respect for a lot of dog men and dog women. I got respect for all y'all, but man, I'm Formula One at this shit. I'm the best at this shit, to be honest. I'm the best at this shit.
I'm getting what's your let me ask you this one first, brother. I just got a text in from a dog trainer. He asking me, have you ever heard of the Atlanta Mastiff?
The Atlanta Mastiff. No, I have not.
Okay.
Hey, my Kangal bitch from Serbia. See my Kangal?
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Oh, that's my Kangal bitch from Serbia, Snow White, man. I dance with that bitch. Big
Yeah.
plan.
Yes, sir. Look at these dogs, y'all. Yeah, buddy. Now, what's this one? Who is this one right here?
So, okay. So, look, that's my boy Shaka, right? That's
Yeah.
my blue pit bull, right? So, I get a lot of, you know, under hate from certain pit bull enthusiasts who want to tell me there ain't no such thing as a blue pit bull. Well, I beg to differ, man. Because when I created that boy Shaka, that's my production. And that's his sister, that other blue one right below. Not that one. That's a Bandog, bitch. That's
Okay.
a Bandog Foundation, bitch. But that one, that other blue one right underneath her.
Right here?
Yeah. That's his sister. One of my top fucking game bitches. One of the gamest bitches you ever seen in your, not saying with passion, your life. That girl right there run amok on any and all things prey. Run up. Okay. And I created that. And not only that, that bitch produced some of the best dogs I got on my yard. That bitch right there. Band dogs to pit bulls. She produced my boy Black Hawk. Man, she produced some top tier dogs, man. That bitch. But
it's Chopper here, huh?
That's Chopper. That's AK-47 Chopper, man. And a double XL pit bull freak of nature. Ain't nobody got one like him on the planet but me. Ain't nobody got one like him on the planet but me, Joe.
Dang. Yeah. These dogs muscled up. You working the shit out of them, boy. Golly.
That's my gift. My gift is creating dogs and working dogs, conditioning dogs and creating dogs. That is my gift. Look, that's Shaka and that's Jaws. Those are brothers. I created them. That's my pit bulls. With all the smoke. I don't care what color the dog is. I don't care about no color.
Yeah.
With everything smoking, they with it.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Here they are, y'all. They was asking me to show them. Look at this dude here.
Yeah, that's Bandog bitch. Nina 9. That's AK-47's daughter. The AK-74 Bandog. That bitch right. You know, that bitch will give a man the blues.
Yeah.
Pray the blues.
This one here. Now this is a Draco.
Pitbull Draco.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my shit. I created that bitch. That's an XL Pitbull Draco.
Yeah. Ooh-wee.
Come on, Joe.
Look at this boy.
That's father and son right there. That's AK.
Oh, is it?
With his Bandog. That's an AK-74 Bandog son I created. That's AK and his son. That's genetics right there. They doing the same shit. But his son got man drive and prey drive. AK only got prey drive, but his prey drive is kind of but his son got it all. I made his
right. Damn. Okay, that's it, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go to his Instagram. Let me get some more questions in, then I'm gonna get ready and let Coach go here. Let me stop sharing the screen here. Remove. All right. So let me I gotta ask him about the XL bull herder. Did I ask you about bull herder?
You did.
Okay. Gotta ask him about the XL bull herder and what we can expect from it.
Well, that female Kangal, Snow White, she was introduced to my program for that purpose of having a that's going to be my double XL bull herder, where I'm gonna take AK-47 chopper, with the double XL in nature, and I'm gonna breed my Kangal to AK and create a bull herder. But that's more going to be more of a property guardian / hopefully livestock guardian too. But then I bought also that Malinois bitch, my bitch Coco. Okay, that's gonna be my XL bull herder. So to that Malinois bitch. So I'm gonna have two types. So this will be I would say the AK to my Malinois bitch. That's gonna be my first sporting dog / real time, man stopper dog. Because I've never produced any sporting dogs. And I've actually had a client of mine who bought one of my band dogs who wanted a sporting dog. And I kind of was, just, I was kind of like saddened by the fact that the dog that I sold him was not a sporting dog. She wanted the real thing. She didn't want to bite the sleeves and play with all the toys. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
Who want sporting dogs. So that's why I was getting into the bull herder. So that one that I have what I'm gonna do with the Malinois, that what I call the XL bull herder, that should be able to do both sporting and the real thing when it comes to working as far as man.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So Neil Mack says, do y'all have any house dogs? Don't. Hey, he'll create it. He'll create a house dog, tear your ass up.
Damn it. Earlier on, I had a pit bull that I had that I put at a high regard in my world. It was kind of like my pistol when I rode around in the city and stuff like that. I always had my dog with me, and he was an inside dog. But once he passed on, I didn't have any other dogs in the house. However, my wife, she has I think it's a Shih Tzu, and it's in the house, little toy dog for my wife, a little companion dog. But I don't have, my dogs are too big, man.
Yeah.
I got all this land. Why you need to be in the house when I got all this land?
Yeah.
Like being a dog.
Right. Yeah. You gotta be a dog. Mine come in here passively, but they don't. No, dog. Let a dog be a dog. The coach's opinion on the Camelot dogs.
Oh. And you know what? I had an experience with the Camelot founder one time, and I didn't like my experience with him. In the beginning, he and I, were mutual and had a level of respect. He knew where I bought my boy AK from, which I bought him from the UK. There was this breeder out there in the UK, Simon, salute to Simon, Lion's Lair. And he had a dog, a red dog. Simon had a red dog named Gunner, which is AK's dad. And Camelot, I forget his name. Y'all know who he is, though. He on Instagram. But anyway, long story short, he always was, trolling Simon because of that red dog, which was very popular. His name is Gunner, which is AK's dad. So then he was following me, that, you know, the guy from Camelot was following me. So then that's when I started looking into his dogs and his program and what he does and what he's doing. So I have put it this way, I have respect for the Camelot dogs because I have respect for every dog, man. Are they my type of dog? No. However, do I have respect for him and his program, what he's done? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I got a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? However, the dog that he was trolling, which was Gunner, I mean, he's got some nice dogs, man, but he don't got no dogs to me that was better than Gunner. At least that's my opinion. If that is
okay.
respect for the Camelot dogs, put it that way. I got respect for them.
All right. Sounds good. So you're getting John Mims, a protection dog trainer named John Mims out of Louisiana. He want to know, have you heard of the Alant Mastiff?
Alant.
Not the Atlanta Mastiff. He was correcting that.
Okay, yes, I have Mastiff. Yes.
Okay. All right. Rick is doing a show tomorrow on the raw diet. Are any of his dogs trained for a specific purpose?
Well, to answer your question, Rick, I don't train my dogs for the work that they're capable of doing, me personally, because I'm a one-man show band, and my gift is making the dog, conditioning the dogs, just to let you know that.
Yeah.
However, in the dogs to be able to work prey and man, depending on what you're buying from me. So my pit bull versions of dogs, they're going to be prey-driven dogs. So anything that you want to do with prey, that's what I put in them genetically. They're going to be able to do that. My theme for my whole concept of me being Formula One is frames, brains, and motors. That's how I build my dogs. The best frames on the dogs, functional working frames, the best brains on the dogs, dog awareness, understanding no stupid dogs, and the best drive. That's my three focuses. Other than that, what you do as a trainer, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? So I build the dogs for you to go ahead and break them in and do what you need to do. But for me, I don't specifically breed them for a specific purpose other than to have maximum prey or maximum man drive or both, or to be the top tier high performance working dogs. That's pretty much how I operate with my dogs. Hopefully that answers.
Okay. Thank you. What does a typical day look like him for with the dogs? What type of exercises? I think you went into that earlier, but if you don't mind letting them know again.
Yeah, well, it's going to be cleaning up a lot of piss and shit. So that's going to be a typical day. I do yard time because I have so many dogs. I have to, certain days, certain dogs go out. But mainly I just let them run around. I got an area that I have fenced off. And, because like I said, I live on a hill. I mean, I let my dogs do the work themselves, man. They like to run around and da-da-da-da-da. But if I'm really, like working the dogs, then, I'll do some tire pull. I'll do some spring pull. I got a weight pull track. I got the ATV. I run them up and down the hill 3 times up, 3 times down. Like, that's kind of what I would do if I was focusing on like really working the dog. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, because my dogs love to be out in the training area, man, they do all the work for themselves.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What is your advice on people who want to work dogs? What's too young? What's the protocol, things to watch out for, signs if you're overdoing it?
Good question. I always tell people who buy dogs from me, I always tell them that first year that you have the dog, don't, this is just me now. Everybody got their own opinion. Every dog man can do what they want to do. This is me. I tell people when they get my dogs, it's like the break-in period. I tell them that first year of that dog, don't overwork the dog. Don't overrun the dog. Don't play bite tug of war games with the dogs. None of that. I tell people to buy my dogs because my dogs have a level of performance where if you do not shape their mind early, and get them in tune. What I call it the off switch, socializing the dogs, letting them just be pets. I say the first year of the dog, don't overwork the dog. A little, basic. If you want to do some puppy imprinting, that's fine. We want to teach a little bite thing, but no hard work, no overrunning, none of that stuff, because you're going to destroy a dog that way. That's my opinion. But my main reason why I tell my people about my dogs that, because if you don't nurture my dog's mind, my dog will run amok all over you and your family. They'll run amok over you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll get too confident, and then you'll be in a situation where you ain't gonna be able to control them. Or if they don't trust you, then they're gonna act insecure when it comes to you. Or you got somebody that they're not used to, and they feel that person or that energy is not conducive to how they operate, then they might bite. I react. So the first year, man, just let your dog be a pet. Do the puppy imprinting if you want to show some type of working ability to them, like you want them to fetch, you want them to bite certain things. Yeah, you can play with them like that, but don't work them. That's just my opinion, because I feel like the dogs are still growing. You might destroy the joints, bones, their teeth, their confidence. It's too early. I mean, it's like working your son. He should be playing flag football, but you got him playing tackle too early. Like, come on, man.
Right.
The fundamental, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
First. That's the same thing with the dogs, though, Joe. You know what I mean? So I would say that first year, I wouldn't work them to that degree. I would just socialize them and just building a confidence around people, building that on and off switch, is very important, because once they're a year old, then you can start, putting in the work in.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Hey, we glad Doug came to work tonight. Doug showed up for work. That's the co-producer of this show, y'all. This Doug.
Yeah,
so,
salute.
Doug. Yeah, salute to Doug. Doug, don't get us no more guests for a while. We got enough to go in the next year, a few months. So he's been doing a good job. He kind of explores the guests. I don't have a bunch of time to watch everything, so he kind of looks, and Kyle does too, and that's how we kind of do this thing. It's a really a real community effort.
Yeah, you got a good team, Joe.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And Doug, he's going to always be putting the guests contact information and everything in the chat, so y'all can find them once the show is. Let's see this. This is an interesting one. The American Bulldogs that went into the Rocky Mountain Bulldogs. What did he say? Oh, that's Vito Alou. That's Vito Alou, y'all. What's up, Vito?
Oh, Vito, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a lot of respect for you, Vito. Straight up and down. A lot of respect, brother.
Oh, yeah. We gotta have Vito back on. What else he say? He says, "Oh shit, go back to Mufasa, a little of my old bully type." Okay.
I already know you had a hand in what they was doing with Buff Dogs. I already knew he knew what Buff Dogs was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of respect for Jackie, and I'm sure Vito know who Jackie is. She gave me a lot of game about Bulldogs, American Bulldogs, and because I was so focused on performance, I told her what my vision was for my Bulldogs, because I bought my Rocky Mountain Bulldogs, my boy Red Tiger, rest in peace, and then also his brother, rest in peace, from Buff Dogs. But I was such a fan, and I had a vision to create. When she was telling me about the flaws of the dog, and you talk about this, Vito, about your dogs trying to create, fix the flaws of the breathing and all that stuff while still keeping the type that you wanted, right? So she told me off the top, like, look, people love our dogs because of the way they look. We can't keep a dog. We couldn't keep dogs on the shelf because people wanted that look, right? Which I was impressed with, was the reason why I reached out to her. However, because she knew what I was about, she's like, these dogs overheat and they blow up. They have heat strokes. She told me that. She told me all the flaws about them Rocky Mountain Bulldogs. and the bulldogs they had, and you know, the old English bulldogs that they had. So she warned me about what I was going to deal with, but because I was all a visionary about the lab, like I'm creating, I don't care, I just need the DNA, man. And that's why I said recipe. Everything she told me with every bully type American bulldog I had, they all died of heat stroke. The two dogs, Rocky Mountain Bulldogs, they both died from heat stroke. If it wasn't for the fact that I experienced the first one dying, and then it was a reminder to me what she told me, Jackie told me about them dogs, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go get my boy collected. And I got Red Tiger collected right next day. And I got that palate, you know, that soft palate surgery. I'm sure Vito know about that. Some of y'all might know about that too, where they can cut the soft palate out to help the breathing.
Yeah.
Throat of them bulldogs, they call it soft palate. I got the surgery. I paid for the surgery to, you know, preserve my boy Red Tiger, man. But he didn't have an on-off switch. He had no off switch. That bulldog I had, he would just pace back and forth. Like if he would see something, because you know I live out here in the elements, so there's all kind of stuff running around. Deer. He would see something, be fixated, run back and forth. And then one night, man, I came out there the next morning. That boy was over there stiffing. He was stiffing the kennel, dead.
Oh man, yeah.
I got a semen on deck, so
There
you
you
know,
go.
make it better. You know, man.
Right. Salute 7-8 Sports TV. Everybody know, a lot of people know, well,
Salute 7.
Yeah, 7-8. Everybody know him for boxing, but salute 7-8 is a dog man. He do a dog content too. I think he do it on Patreon. Yeah, everybody know who he is. 7-8, boy, you be tripping. I was listening to that Sunday show, boy. Woo, you be tripping, boy.
7-8. I got some next level pit bulls, man. I know y'all, you know, I know y'all be into the game dogs and all that stuff, man. But I got some next level. I got some next level pit bulls, man. Next level stuff. My own recipe.
Yeah. But salute to 7-8. 7-8, I'm gonna hit you up. I got this show idea. It's gonna be hard to do, but I'm gonna try to get it done. Somebody asked how old is your oldest living dog?
Oh shit.
Yeah, Game Dog Talk Patreon. Yeah.
Probably right now on my yard, maybe like 7.
7. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this: breeding the way you do, you probably avoid a lot of health issues. Would you say?
Of course.
Yeah.
Hybrid. Okay, so breeding is an art. Think about how you got different types of art, abstract art. You know, you got different types of art, right? So let's say, for example, you got an artist that will take a paintbrush and, you know, he just throw paint here, throw paint here, throw paint there, throw paint here, you know, but then he makes something that's like, wow, right? Same thing with dogs. Some people think because they don't have a palette of DNA that they can only breed a certain type of way. Like those who like to inbreed a lot. Okay. So, because your palette ain't, as an artist, as a dog artist, is not broad, you only know how to paint or breed a certain type of way. So then you breed based off of the bloods you got, and you keep breeding them over, because that's the only thing you know how to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I got bloodline, and it's the only, and these dogs are the best off of this bloodline, so you keep doing that. Well, then you don't get that explosion that hybrid Vigor gets. You don't get them dogs that when you do have that dog that's heavily inbred, that's amazing to you, but then you did that cross for whatever reason, then you get something that you didn't expect that's killing that you love so much. And as a dog man who respect the craft, the art of it, you have to respect it. If you don't, and you want to be naive and you want to be in your ways and like, oh, it's got to be this, then to each their own. But like I said, that artist that's like throwing this stuff up here, painting this way, painting that, painting these masterpieces, and then you got your traditional type art, and people are used to buying it, but then that's something that's brand new, that's on a whole nother level. People paying top tier dollar for. how it is with the dogs. So like you said, when it comes to health, you benefit from that outcross.
Does coach ever go back in and say, man, I might have to go back in and make that a little bit tighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, it has to be a reason.
Gotta be a reason. Yeah.
It's not just, inbreed, line breed, outcross. Like people have these genetic mathematical formulas just based off of what they heard. People do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Eli. Yeah.
But I breed for performance. And I tell my boys that every dog I produce has to be better. Not just in look. Like I could have a smaller version of the dad, right? Mm-hmm. Now somebody might, he's not the same size or he's not as big as the dad. No, I'm performance. I'm Formula One. So if he performs better than his dad, but he's a tad bit smaller, that's a win for me. I won. I made a better version of his dad. Yeah, he's smaller, but he's still better. He outperforms his dad. Mm-hmm. Now, the producing part's a whole nother level, you know what I mean? But based off of what we're talking about, a dog to a dog, I know what produced that genetic variant that made him better than his dad. It wasn't necessarily inbreeding. Now, if I want to keep a certain type of phenotype, I want to triple down, double down on a certain type of characteristic because I don't want to lose it, then I'll do that. I'll inbreed. I'll take a brother and sister and take them together. I've done that before. I'll take a father and daughter and breed it together. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And when you done this, when you went in a little tighter, did you notice any loss in performance or hybrid vigor?
Oh, and the reason why is because I don't breed tight.
Okay.
So, like for example, if I was just breeding family of dogs, and I'm breeding father, daughter, mother, son, siblings together, and cousins and uncles, but that's all I'm doing, then the genetic variance is minimizing itself. Mm-hmm. My genetic pool, because they're all related. Now, if you try to create a dog that look a certain type of way, have a phenotype, because remember, I told you I like genetic variants. I like the genetic, I like genetic characteristics that's in all the lines of the dogs that I have. I like that. That's why I paid the money.
Yeah.
But if I'm just trying to create a certain look, then as a breeder, I'm getting stuck on the phenotype, not the performance type. Mm-hmm. So I don't breed that way. If I want to keep something, like for example, my boy AK, I'm going to create what I call a double XL pit bull version of him. So I'm going to inbreed him to his daughters. So I can create that size and that phenotype that he is. Now to keep his level and take him higher, I got to get hybrid vigor in that shit. But being that I got offspring that has more of his genetics, then if I take him to something that's similar, but from a different family, but similar in his phenotype and his genotype.
You get it, yeah.
I can still, I can still marry what my vision. I can still keep the look, but still get my hybrid vigor and still have my genetic variants. And I love, me personally, I love being able to get dogs from other dog men who I respect that think the same way. And they got dogs that I'm like impressed with. Mm-hmm. I can match up and take them together. So then I like, shit, I'm getting the best of both worlds. And then when you see it, because you keep the whole litter too, I do that. Mm-hmm. So I don't judge a dog just off of, oh, that's the puppy I want. Oh, he's bigger. Oh, I want to see the whole complete. And that's just one aspect of it. Now, just because this dog is weaker than this other dog that I got, that I like, that's stronger, I'm going to test his best producer. I do that too. Right. Which will amaze you because you might think that the weaker one, let's say you got one that's kind of skittish for whatever reason. Skittish is not in the genetic pool, but that dog personality is like this. That's why I said, look at your brothers and look at you. You got levels. Mm-hmm. Like I said, a whole family of jocks and got one nerd. But does that really make him a piece of shit? No, he come from the same genetic pool.
Right.
He's not going to top tier athletes like you and your brothers and your other siblings, your cousins. No, that doesn't mean that. But how would you know if you just threw that in the trash? Like, oh man, we ain't breeding you, man. You a nerd.
Yeah. You ain't gonna know what he turned out to be.
Or you don't know what he's gonna produce because
That's true. Yeah.
The genetics is in the dog. And like I said, if you experiment like that, that's where you find out. But if you judge dog books by their cover, you will never know. You will never know. And because I bumped my head on that by keeping whole litters, by breeding every bitch in there with one male, and seeing like, what, you produce this, you like, damn, really? My of just judging you by what you look like and how you acting. Guess what? I mean, shit, I would have missed out on this particular dog that I got. I missed out on this dog.
Right.
But because I understand it by experiment, because that's what we should be doing as dog men and dog women, is experiment.
Right.
Experiment. And hybrid vigor is, man, that's for high performance. If you want performance dogs, hybrid vigor is your wave. You try to make dogs look like the same, go ahead and inbreed, line breed, do that stuff. That's what you do. But if I want dogs that's gonna perform at the higher, every time I'm raising the bar, I'm out crossing. I'll do my line breeding and inbreeding accordingly, but I'm out crossing, man.
Let me ask you this. I know this is a novice question for you, but I just want the audience to hear it. What's most important to you in your program? The male or the female? Or does it depend on something else?
Me personally, I'm gonna say both.
Okay.
And this is the reason why I say both, because certain dogs overpower certain productions. Now, you might have a female that's consistent in giving you a certain type of dog. You might have a male that's consistent in giving you a certain type of dog with a certain type of look. Now, depending on how you breeding is how you mixing dogs up. So if I got a dog that I know is going to give me a look consistently, and it's a male, but I have this female that's giving me a certain type of genotype, certain type of drive, certain type of performance, I'm going to use them different. I'm going to use them accordingly, if that makes sense. So I can't say which one is most important to me, the male or the female, because they all bring something different to the table when it comes to my cook-ups in my lab. That's how I see every one of my dogs. You know what I mean? Not every dog is going to be a super producer, whether male or female.
Right.
To me, because I've experienced that. Not every dog that you breed is going to match up the way you envision it.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna take one more for Coach here. Coach, do you do the same breedings more than once?
I have done that a few times. Yeah, I have. Yes. And the reason why I've done that is because for one, if you got enough genetic variance in your top and bottom, which is your male and female, that first breeding that you do with the pair, you know, that's one production, even though, you know, you might get 6 or 7 or 8, 12 puppies. That's one production. But because there's so much variance, there's so much in that genetic makeup of the mom and the dad, there's more that you probably don't know that you got in there unless you do it multiple times, if that makes sense. So know that. And like I said, I'm not just doing a tightly bred, inbred type family, what you know you're gonna get every time. No, I got generations of dogs that are top tier from the mom and the father side that I want to see in my productions. And you're not gonna see it all in that first breeding. So yes, I do multiple breedings because I want to see the variances. Like I said, I like genetic variance. I love it.
That makes a bunch of sense. Hey man, well, I enjoyed having you on. I'm gonna wrap it up and everything. Why don't you tell everybody your pages, how to get in contact with you, and all this kind of good stuff?
Okay, so if you want to get in contact with me, follow my Instagram page. That is the Dog God, aka the Coach. Okay, so that's my page, and then also Formula One K9s. That is my page as well. You can follow me on YouTube. I do a live every Thursday. So if y'all, want to come and politic and talk dogs, I do a live every Thursday night around 6:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come in there and get some of that dog talk. We call it the classroom. So you want to come in and do that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm on as far as the social medias and how you can get in contact with me. I'm on Facebook, but I'm really not on there that much. But like I said, if you really want to connect with me, Instagram, like I said, the Dog God, aka the Coach, and then or Formula One. But if you want to contact me, hit me on the Dog God, aka the Coach, on IG.
Right. That's what's up. Salute to you both. Glad I got to see the unks get together. Yeah. Yeah. People are excited about that. Yeah.
No, much love and respect to all y'all, man. All y'all dog, man. And like I said, I just want to inspire you, dog, man. Just, man, don't be afraid. Just do you. Pioneer this thing. Just think about all the dog breeds that we love today. It started with minds like myself who saw had a vision and thought of different breeds to put together to make their perfect dog. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, when you mixing dogs, are you making a mutt? Well, every damn dog on this planet will be a mutt.
Yeah, that's how every breed was created by a variety of dogs. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, great interview. Okay.
So yeah, I want to inspire y'all, man. Just do y'all, man. Just do you. Have a vision, make it make sense, and make it a reality at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. Hey, the NWA family, man, sure does. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Joe.
We could do it. We could spin the block a little bit later on.
I'm here
on whatever subject. All right,
brother.
Okay, man. Salute to everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yep.